Hey, what's up everybody, Destroy here, back with another replay of Battlefield Mordor 2. So I'll be looking at a game that I didn't cast, or live commentary, whatever. So I come back to do it at a later date. And yeah, this was actually a pretty recent game. This is a 6-player free-for-all on the Dead Marshes, with 4,000 resources and probably random armies. As that happens to be the case in most games. We have the Destroyer, myself here as Mordor. The next player is Recep Ivd. Okay, as the men. Not sure what that's supposed to stand for. We got Angelos as Goblins there in the top. Over here we have Isildurr, or Isildurr as Isengard there. Next player is GlenQuagmi as the men over there, and our final player is another Isengard, who is a brutal AI. That's right. We had an issue with our 6th player, so we replaced him with an AI. And yeah, that's what you see there. So I'm opening with a Nazgul and a Haradrim Palace and a Tavern. So I will probably be going with the Easterlings and Corsairs fairly quickly. Seems this player here is this Recep. I'm going to just call him Recep. Recep is going for an Aragorn. It's a pretty good start, as he is very strong. Goblin's going for a Fissure and a Goblin Cave. Actually, upgrading his Goblin Cave, curious. Not many players need to upgrade a Goblin Cave, especially in the beginning. Also going for a Fissure, not sure why. As of yet, he could be going for trolls, or he could be going for half trolls maybe. We have a tower being thrown up by Isildurr, and he's also got some pikes and getting some crossbows, and he does have alerts as well. And this goblin Gorkil, I believe, belongs to the guy up top, Angelos. Yep. Yes, he does. All right, and then our player over here, GlenQuagmi, going for tower guards to start, and a Aragorn of his own. So yeah, and then AI doing whatever it wants, doing whatever it's coded to do, which is crossbows and swordsmen apparently. Getting more crossbows and some pikes as well. It's actually a pretty strong army already from Isengard. The brutal AI Isengard, that is. Seems I have taken out my white layer here. And I do have Easterlings and Corsairs, as I said I was going to get. Probably going to move down... Oh, this is actually not my furnace. So it looks like I will begin destroying the AI furnace, who's decided to just blatantly build in my base. And now it seems the brutal AI is going to attack GlenQuagmi here. So he will be defending here. Yeah, throwing down a war chant on top of his guys, but Aragorn does have Blade Master. So you should be able to clean up those troops without no trouble at all. As Aragorn takes very little damage and does very good damage with the Blade Master running, as well as a little backup from the tower guards, which never hurts. Looks like I am continuing to push out a little bit. My Nazgul is killing a few crossbows from the Brutal. Being next to the Brutal, like when you're in a free-for-all, being next to the AI can sometimes be a really beneficial thing to you, because you will be killing their troops, their buildings, and you'll be getting power points, and power points equals good things for you, bad things for the enemy. So me and GlenQuagmi will probably be getting a fair amount of power points off of the brutal AI, at least until they're dead, which probably won't happen too far off into the future, I'd imagine. Since Aragorn has ventured into the Goblin lands of the north, and now he will begin chopping off some Goblin heads. But there is a lot of Goblins here from Angelos, so he will begin taking a bit of damage. And he does have a few caves now, so if he gets a lot more Goblins out, he actually could take down Aragorn, because Aragorn can't outrun all these Goblins. There's no way. So there's his best bet would be to just keep sending him after Aragorn. They may level up a little bit. Aragorn, that is. Aragorn may level up a little bit. He's already level 4 though. And Goblin Warriors don't level up too much. You see he's taking a while to get to level 5. And now he's running for his life, but will be taking the flanking damage. And he will probably lose his Aragorn there, I would imagine. Looks like Lurtz and Gorkill are competing for the Troll Cave money there. Good call using the Cripple Strike there to trap Angelos' Gorkill. And now he is going to lose his Gorkill there. Unfortunate for him. Seems Glenn has decided to move in a little bit on the brutal AI. As has who's it? Oh, that is the brutal AI, isn't it? No, that's... Are these Isengards from the top left? Yeah, these are actually tower pikemen from over there. Way across the map. It's like chased a builder for miles. Not sure if that was my... Probably not my builder. Looks like I actually killed that builder, but these pikemen now will be dispatched by my army here. And I am going for my favorite strategy of all time, the Mumakil. So I got a Mumakil queued up there. Also supporting him with Easterlings and Corsairs and a Nazgul. I feel that's a pretty good strategy, unless your enemy has a flying unit and then you're kind of screwed. But yeah, Glenn is actually pushing forward pretty effectively here. He's got a Boromir now, so that will come in handy for him at some time. Aragorn already level 6. And it seems I am pushing out onto the brutal AI as well, so we will begin 2v1ing him. Trying to take out the brutal AI so we can get our power points, get him out of the way, and move on to another player. We have a cave troll with a full-on tree there, the Christmas tree, as you call it. And he will begin smacking about Lurtz if he ever catches up, knocking him flat on his butt. Gorkill unfortunately doesn't have the poison stinger. If he did, that Lurtz would not be getting away. Although I don't know if he will be getting away, because Gorkill is actually faster than Lurtz. Although when he attacks, he stops his animation, which is kind of annoying if you're Gorkill. But it seems I'm moving in it on AI now. AI has very little left, and it seems Glenn has actually spotted my Mumakil and decided to run away, as you definitely don't want to have your heroes anywhere near a Mumakil. That trample is bad news bears for any heroes involved. And now we have an attack from the Goblins of the north here. And will this guy be able to defend? Probably. He has a tower. He does have a few crossbows in there. And he has a crossbow outside as well. So he should be able to defend against goblins. No problem with that. This is a no rules game, by the way. I'm pretty sure. I believe we decided that. So, towers and everything are allowed here. And yeah, brutal AI's fortress is going down very quickly. Mumakil will definitely finish that off quite easily, as well as the rest of my army there. And brutal has been defeated. So let's take a look at the power points real quick. The Destroyer Mordor has the Eye of Sauron, Tainted Land, and almost another power. If I choose so, I can get my 10. Isildurr, the Isengard, over here, oh, excuse me, only has War Chant and 6 power points remaining. Could potentially get Creebane. GlenQuagmi has a heal and 8 power points. Who is this player here? This player is this man, Recep. He has a Rallying Call and heal. So those are 2 good powers to have. Angelos Goblins has just Tainted Land, and yeah, that's it. So players, obviously me and Glenn are going to be ahead on the PowerPoint front a little bit, but not by too much. Me a little bit more than everyone else, it seems, as I do have 2 powers and almost a 10 power as well. Probably going to get Industry, I would imagine. I can't quite remember what I get. I'd imagine Industry though, who wouldn't? You'd be crazy not to get your Industry. And we have some men actually building his structures in the very, very top right. Possibly to sneak around and attack the goblins quicker. Not a bad idea. And Aragorn will begin moving in once again, but I don't think this is really a good idea. Not at this point, as there are a very large amount of goblins here, as well as some half marauders. And I think Aragorn may bit off a little more than he can chew here. Possibly. I guess we'll see. He's going to start taking flanking damage from these Goblin warriors here. So he might want to stop and attack those. But he might get away. I'm sure he has a heal ready. Yeah, he definitely has his heal ready. But if these guys catch up, there's not enough heals in the world to save that Aragorn. It seems that my Nazgul has ventured out a bit. It's like I'm killing off a few guys here and there. But the army of the men is pretty strong here. And I probably will lose my Nazgul here as fire arrows do a lot of damage to the Nazgul. And they got the range. And yeah, I lose them to the Athelian Rangers there. This is a good army composition here. Pikemen. A few swords here and there, and then a lot of archers. As well as Boromir. I don't see Aragorn. There he is. Aragorn as well. So yeah, very good army composition. He's also got a tower for defense. Good call. And it looks like I'm moving my armies out. I may be going to engage him there. And it seems the Goblins of the North are trying to push forward into this little outpost of the men, if you will. Doesn't seem he will be making too much progress because of the Athelian Rangers. And now we got attacked by myself from my Mordor units here. I'm not sure this is a good attack. And no, it doesn't seem to be. I am trying to retreat. I do get frozen in place though, unfortunately, and I will begin losing troops here, which sucks. Boromir is always a party wrecker, isn't he? This little Horn of Gondor. Freezing my troops in place and completely slaughtering them with the archers. I will manage to save a few here and there, probably. I did manage to save my Mumakil at least. That's the expensive part, so really all I gotta do is rebuild some Easterlings, rebuild some Corsairs, and I'll be set. And my Nazgul, yep, there's my Nazgul. Definitely need to get that back in play. And now, Glenn will begin pushing forward on me, it seems. Probably taking out a few of my slaughterhouses and a few of my Corsairs here as well, as they're having trouble pathfinding their way around. They're level 5 though. It would be good to save them, but it looks like I don't manage to do so. They will be cut down by the might of Gondor there. So unfortunate, but at the same time, not the biggest deal. It seems I do have some Haradrim archers now, or I did at some point, as they are a little wounded, so they have seen combat. So I guess I have already had them. Haradrim archers are very good. I prefer Haradrim archers definitely over orc archers, as you might imagine. And I have been colonizing this area by building slaughterhouses in here. I think it's always a good idea to expand your economy if you can. It just seems like a generally good thing to do. But you do want to destroy those before the enemy gets there. I'll say we get power points and levels off your farms, and nobody wants that. Nobody on my side, at least. And now we will have a confrontation here, it looks like. I'm sending my armies in. No pikemen near these archers here. Just going to regret. I may have frozen my army, but my Nazgul is not frozen. But my Mumakil is taking a lot of damage here. And he doesn't quite get to charge, unfortunately, as he would have killed Aragorn immediately. But he has lost pretty much all of his archery now. So I think I do have the superior army here, especially with this Eye of Sauron buff. So he might want to get out of here. Although his Aragorn is level 8. Very quick. As Aragorn level 10 will be summoning his Oathbreakers, an army of the dead. Nobody wants to fight that. So that is bad for you, bad for your army. it's a real killer. You do have a goblin army up north. Seems they're holding some goblins. That is actually a very powerful strategy, if you don't know about that. Throwing goblin warriors in patch 1.06 is extremely destructive and ridiculous. They have a lot of range and they do a ton of damage. It seems Aragorn will actually get away. Aragorn and Boromir. A few men here and there. He didn't actually lose full battalions, so if he builds a healing well, possibly, he will be able to heal those troops back up to full. I think that would be a good idea on his part. It seems Lurtz has been poking around over here. Tom Bombadil hot on his heels, on the trail, hunting down that Uruk. And Spider Rider's going in Probably not the best use of the Spider Riders, although they did manage to send those pikemen flying with taking minimal casualties, which is kind of strange, as you would expect those guys to die there. And it seems that Aragorn has ventured into my lands. I do have the Forged Blades upgrades now on my pikemen and my Easterlings are pikemen, my Easterlings and my Corsairs. And Corsairs are very fast in this patch, so Aragorn will not be getting away here, although he might make it to some reinforcements. Possibly, and I will turn around if that is the case, I'd imagine. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I really want this Aragorn kill. I know I probably do. Because who doesn't want to kill an Aragorn? And my Nazgul doing lots of damage. Not using my Nazgul to fight Aragorn, but to take out these archers, as that is what its... I say that's its strength is. And oh god, a Muma kill coming up. Didn't quite finish Aragorn as he was slightly too far ahead. Did massive damage to him though. Did almost kill him. If he was just a centimeter closer, he would have been trampled by the Muma kill. But I do send my Nazgul after him. Will he manage to finish off Aragorn? Yes, he will. And now I'm moving in with some upgraded guys as well as a Muma kill. So this player here is in a bit of trouble. Recep not having much here. Also, his troops are actually being produced in the north, although that has been taken out by the Goblins as well. Since I did lose my Nazgul to some pikemen, it does happen to me quite often. That is one of the risks I run of keeping him in horse mode, but he does a lot more damage in horse mode. So, small price to pay. Nazguls aren't very expensive, so it's not the end of the world. And my Muma kill is actually doing a lot of damage here. This fort may go down. Barrage being called down on the Goblin army. I believe that was my barrage. Yes, it was. I have barrage industry as well now. Let's take a look at the powers. Goblins, Angelos to the north has Scavenger. This man player has a Tom Bombadil. I do not actually take the fortress here, as my Muma kill is killed off. And it looks like we do have an army moving forward from Glen there, as well as maybe a fight for the ring up here. Looks like some war riders are being sent out. Let's go back to observing all players. They do actually capture the ring. It'll be interesting to see if they take it back to their base. But yeah, the Goblins going to clean up the men's base over here. He does have a troll here, making things extremely quick, especially his half trolls will help a lot too, as they do have their upgrades. And now we do have an attack on my base. We'll see how effective this is. Sending in his heroes first, taking out my Fear Statue. Good call, as the Fear Statue will cause his army to flee in terror, as you see. I do have multiple Fear Statues, one on each corner, is what I like to do. So I always have the Fear. I do have a new Muma kill out, so he's going to have to watch out though. Aragorn and Boromir could be in a world of hurt in a few seconds. And his army is he's making good progress. He's taking out a few structures here and there. Aragorn does die there. So if I do charge in, looks like I did, but Aragorn was already dead. So kind of pointless there. Probably should have charged against Boromir wherever he is. Unless I did and he died. That is a possibility. So I don't actually see Boromir anymore. Oh, he's over here. Never mind. Tainted Land being thrown down to help my troops out. I do lose my Muma kill, it looks like. Not quite sure to what. Probably to the Rangers. I wasn't paying attention. So unfortunate, as those are quite expensive. Boromir actually dying there. I just heard his death. I threw up a lone tower, or the barricade expansion, to help myself in the defense of my base. And it looks like these Corsairs will clean up the rest of these tower guards without much trouble. And we will be on pursuit, trying to kill the rest of these Thillian Rangers trying to get away. And I'm pretty sure Corsairs can catch the Thillian Rangers. I also have a tower here on the bottom, kind of as a sentry tower, but it is also doubling as a defense tower, so useful. And yeah, Goblins have, looks like killed off this man player here. I don't think he has any more structures. He may have died and I wasn't paying attention. Undoubtedly. But Goblin space is looking pretty fierce, I'd say. And let's take a look. Isengard actually has the ring now. He also has some upgrades. And he has a pretty defensible base, having crossbows in the tower in front there. GlenQuagmi's base is decently defensible as well. He has a bunch of air towers on his fort. And he has a tower here as well. So he will be hard to attack a little bit. As well as he has the ivory tower so you can see it coming from a mile away. Looks like Nazgul is chasing someone's builder. Possibly the men? Maybe the men aren't quite dead yet. That is a possibility. I'm not sure where his last building would be. But he does lose a builder nonetheless. If he does have a building, where would it be? If I was a Gondor man, where would I be? Ah, over here. And Recep has been defeated. As you see there in the top right, he has quit out of the game as he lost his last builder. Pointless to continue there. And it looks like I'm fleeing from the goblins, losing a few troops here and there. As probably don't want to engage that scary goblin army. Goblins late game tend to be very terrifying. Although so does Mordor, so... Although so does men. So, really, a lot of the remaining players are the scary armies. As I feel these three armies are probably the best armies. I think Elves, Isengard, and Dwarves... Well, Dwarves, not so much. Dwarves are pretty strong too. But they do have weaknesses like their speed and such. But yeah, I don't feel Isengard and Elves are particularly one of the strongest armies in the game. Probably the weakest. Especially against killing air units like Isengard is. And we have a Drogoth in the field. So that will be a extremely helpful weapon of war for the goblins of the north. And it looks like a couple players moving out. A few players, in fact. The goblins are moving out here. So we'll see where he goes. I am moving out with my Mordor army over here, throwing down a tower to help me see things, just to make sure this area is clear. And Mr. GlenQuagmi is pushing forward into the base of... This guy's name is Isildurr, that's right. Isildurr. So Isildurr will begin losing some structures here. He will want probably to rally his troops here and get over into his defensive position, not letting too many guys get too close. There's a lot of rangers here, also a Gandalf. Gandalf probably doesn't want to go in tanking everything. As you see there, he does not. And these Ithilien rangers making short work of those guys. He's going to need to get rid of these towers though if he's really going to make any progress. And for that, he probably will need a siege weapon. And it seems I am not discovering much of anything over here. I'm beginning to build some slaughterhouses in this area as well. So expanding my farm presence. I feel that is a good call to make there. Drogoth hasn't moved yet. But if he moves against my army is probably the weakest army to defend against Drogoth. I have one battalion of Haradrim archers that may or may not have the fire arrow upgrade. They do have barbed arrows. It says it. Actually, no. Yeah, it does. They are purchased. Excuse me. So, I do have that. I'm pretty sure the barbed arrows are basically fire arrows for Haradrim archers, as Haradrim archers don't use fire arrows. So, I don't think they get both. Like, you don't need both to get fire arrows or upgraded arrows on your Haradrims. Just need the barbed ones. I believe the fire arrows are only for the orc warriors. Orc archers, I mean. Yeah, fireball going down from Drogoth. Doesn't look like he actually killed much. And he will actually target my Mumakil very quickly. Mumakil takes a massive amount of damage from flying units. That sucked. And I'm calling down Barrage here. Doing a little bit of damage there on the goblin base. But I don't think I'm going to have the army to follow it up. Seems I actually did do a decent amount of damage with my Haradrim archers here. Actually 2 battalions. And throwing the eye down on them to give them more damage. I believe that's what that does, right? 25% damage, yes. That's what it does. So Drogoth being forced to retreat there. And now I will do a little bit of damage. My Nazgul needs to get out of there. 500 resources to the goblins, as they do have scavenger. Unfortunate. That is the strength of the goblins. Kills equal money. Always a good thing to have. I do still have a Mumakil, but you may be in trouble as there's a lot of pikemen. Although they are not defenseless against pikemen, as you see. And I do have a lot of these Roger Marchers picking off these guys pretty well. As they do, I believe they do more damage against beasts. Or evil things or something. They used to, at least. I'm not sure. Not so sure anymore. But they are good archers nonetheless, so they will do damage. Yeah, it looks like I summoned down a worm there. There's a lot of trolls building up here as well. He looks like he was building up for a little cheeky little goblin throw assault. Oh, and I trampled 4-kill there with Muma kill. Let's go over here real quick. Seems Glenn has actually brought a trebuchet this time. Oh, I'm actually observing someone. Let's get out of that. There we go. Sounds like Lurch does go down there. And he is making a bit of progress. It seems my attack will actually be fended off here, I think. Will my barricade expansion actually finish Drogoth? Yes, it will. Oh, that sucks. Great for me, though. Great pickup. Nice. Nice use of the barricade, I feel. Throwing it down to try and fend off a flying unit that I don't really have the defense for. So that's always useful. So now it's really just a bunch of crossbows against a full army of men here with the backup of 2 trebuchets. So I think Isengard is in a lot of trouble here as he will begin taking out all these structures. There's not any more towers in the front as they've been knocked down by these trebuchets. Possibly wants to give this a trebuchet upgrade firestones as well, so he can do some more damage. And I have replenished my army, as you see. I am moving out once again. Probably getting another move kill, maybe. No, not quite yet. I guess we will just keep observing this. It seems there's some spider riders over here. Possibly going to start harassing my farms, which is kind of annoying. As I'm sure you're well aware, having your farms harassed is not the most fun thing in the world. Especially when it's so far away from your base and you can't get there in time. Yep. Glenn actually targeting these troop-reducing structures first. Cutting off the reinforcements of Isengard. Good strategy. Now he could go straight for the fortress there. Probably should, I would think, as there is nothing stopping him now. And this lightning tower is on cooldown, lightning strike from the wizard tower, so he will not be able to cast that down on the trebuchets there, unfortunately. And now I think Isengard is going to die here, as this man army is just very, very strong. And look at these tower guards in all their glory. Very nice. And yep, fortress is almost down to half health here. Now it is down to half health. I am amassing an army of Mordor in the middle. Sounds like Drogoth has returned. He will begin causing more ruckus with his goblin brethren. Or underlings, I guess. Not really brethren, no. I do have a Witch King out now, which will be extremely useful. Especially for killing off these, as I didn't really have anything to stop him from destroying all my slaughterhouses. And I will begin rebuilding those immediately. And now we have an attack here. Drogoth immediately being fended off a bit, as he doesn't want to die to all these archers. But I do need to target that. I will immediately begin shooting him with my Roger Marchers. And I'm definitely prepared. I definitely brought a few, and I do have the Witch King as well. Witch King can also help fight the Drogoth, as he will probably die, actually. And it seems my army has crushed the Goblin army there. And Isengard's base has been destroyed, and Isildurr is dead now. So that's unfortunate for Isildurr. Seems Drogoth fled to the safety of his base. All those arrow towers. Definitely don't want the Witch King flying in there. But I do have barricade expansion. Possibly going to pick up Drogoth once again with the help of these Roger Archers. But nope, he gets away. And the Wildman actually cleaning up a lot of my guys here. Being summoned right in the middle of my troops. Now the ring is being secured by the men. That could be a big problem, as I definitely don't want that to happen. It sounds like Watcher has been summoned down right in the middle of my troops. Indeed it has. Which is quite unfortunate. I need to get away. Furiously click away from the Watcher. Try and save as many troops as possible. But yeah, we are down to 3 players now out of 6. Well, 5 technical players and then 1 AI, but I'll just count it as 6. And let's take a look at the powers, as we are a bit late into the game now. Seems the goblins of the north. Angelos has the Watcher Wildman now, and I have the Worm Barrage in the tower. Also have 10 power points remaining. And the men have Cloudbreak, Tom Bombadil, and Rallying Call, and he has 26 power points remaining. He can get the Earthquake or the Army of the Dead. That is a scary thought. So we'll see what happens with that. And it seems the heroes of the men are actually a little trio here, walking around destroying my farms. I'll definitely want to destroy my farms before he gets there, like you see I'm doing there. I do not want them leveling up all of my stuff. Aragorn is level 10 though, so I'm already going to have to deal with the Oathbreakers, unfortunately. As well as probably the Army of the Dead, if that is the power he chooses. I'm curious to see what he chooses. Actually not securing the ring, curiously enough. So must maybe sending his guys out a bit before they turned it in. But the Witch King is going to be in a lot of trouble here. That's a lot of Athelian Rangers. I need to get out of here immediately. Oh no, he's coming back for another swoop. Seems I didn't notice. And that is highly unfortunate. But there will be a barrage called down in retaliation at least. So that is going to kill a majority of those. Looks like I was actually sent out my Nazgul to try and capture the ring maybe. Getting knocked down by Boromir there. Worm being summoned up under it. Really want this ring apparently. Sauron desires the Ring of Power above all else, as you might imagine. I need to get it with the Nazgul and get home. But will I manage to? Is another question. The worm might actually burn my own Nazgul. Oh, it does. The worm actually does burn your own troops if they're close enough, so you do have to be careful. And this solo ranger, Gondor, running home with the ring, frantically trying to secure it. I summoned the tower trying to stop him. Looks like it actually did kill him. But I have no one even close to retrieve the ring. So the Ring of Power will stay with Gondor. Which is unfortunate for me, as I did throw down a lot of things, a lot of powers and troops trying to get that. As Sauron would have pretty much secured me the game, I think. Unless he was killed by, like, the ghosts. I think Sauron could take the ghosts, though. I think if he hits the ghosts, they do magic damage. Or he does magic damage. And that is what they are weak to. So possibly he could survive. I'm unsure. Maybe calling down his rain of fire or whatever would actually kill those as well. Not too sure about that. But I will need another army here. I'm trying to replenish. Seems Gorkil is taking a few of my archers with him, as they do not have any pikes or anything to save them. And now Gorkil going to run in terror, as there is a Mumiko coming. You definitely don't want to be around for that. But the Mumiko is a very strong weapon of war that I prefer above all else. It's just so good at killing heroes that it's just really, really powerful. We do have 3 trebuchets and an army of men of the West soldiers pushing out here. So Glenn could be going for the goblins or possibly me. It's hard to say from the middle, but he is closer to the goblin base at the moment. And it seems actually I did manage to trample Gorkil there. I missed that, but Gorkil stopped apparently, and he was charged by the Mumiko. So he was instantly killed. And now it looks like the Men of the West army is moving north. Will the goblins be prepared? He does have a fire drake though. And Drogoth still. Unfortunately Drogoth is still level 2, as he hasn't really been able to do much. I've been able to fend him off pretty well with Barrage of Archers and the barricade expansions. And a fireball being thrown down there. Killing a few pikes, but not too much. And oh, he does have a lot of guys grouped up there. Drogoth immediately going for the Athelians, actually killing a lot of troops here because Glenn managed to bunch up his troops a bit too much. And now he will actually lose all his trebuchets. No? Okay. If you're this Drogoth, you might want to start targeting this trebuchet. There you go. And now the men will be forced to retreat. Looks like I am trying to send in a sneak attack force to the bottom. Possibly to take a few farms, looks like. Corsairs are pretty good at destroying farms, so these are a good choice to send down there as a harassing unit, as they are very fast and very destructive. I'm not using firebombs. I don't use firebombs very often. They're just very cheesy, I feel. Even if they are allowed in a no-rules game, I still don't use them because I don't really like them. Just as a concept. Fire is just too strong in this game. So I don't really feel it's very fair. I think Corsairs are kind of a little overpowered in this patch, as they are very quick and very destructive, and their firebombs are just super strong. You have the Witch King over here now, though, as well as some attack trolls. And in Mumakil, this could take down the fort in very few amount of seconds, if they actually manage to get close enough and have some sort of defense in front. But the Men of the West heroes are here, unfortunately. And actually, I get a 3-for-1 there. Gandalf, Aragorn, and Boromir all dying to the charge of the Mumakil. Oh, that's brutal. Oh no, it looks like actually Boromir survived, but Aragorn and Gandalf did not. So, huge loss. Great kill by the Mumakil. Putting the kill in Mumakil once again. And the Witch King will begin doing a massive amount of damage here, because he does have this giant AoE cleave of all cleaves. But he may need to get out of there. There are a lot of Thillians there, though I do have some trolls coming in from the side. And now the trolls will begin smashing away at these guys. So, good battle going on here. Worm being summoned down. There is a lot of damage coming in from these arrow towers, though. As there are a lot of them, actually. Worm probably won't live too long. But it will actually probably manage to take the barracks. It's a level 3 barracks. It's a good pickup, I guess. It may also get the siege works. I am out of troops, it looks like. I'm starting to bring catapults in now. So then maybe in a bit of a pickle, as I do have a catapult in both sides of the map of his base here. The east and the southern part. And I do have a attack troll as well. I should probably use that to, oh, looks like I'm actually going to use that to try and destroy the fort. Doing as much damage as possible to it. Looks like it didn't quite live, though. This worm's just doing a lot of damage. What did Glenn actually buy? Oh, he bought the Army of the Dead. I've not seen him use it yet, though. That I know of. Let's also take a look at my power. I do have the Rain of Fire. It looks like I did use that on the fortress, I think, right here. At some point. That's probably why all those towers and everything are gone. I just missed it. By a little bit. Sounds like barrage coming down. Possibly to finish off the fort. Will it be enough? No. Barrage is a bit nerfed in patch 1.06. Not nearly as strong as it was in patch 1.00. So it doesn't last nearly as long. And it will not do the damage necessary to take out this fortress. But I will continue pressing on. You gotta press your advantage there. Goblins not doing much of anything up here. Seems he's rebuilding a few buildings here and there, but he's building up his army, I guess, while me and Glenn fight here. And now I am sending a few guys off to their death, it seems. I do need to get in there, though, before this fortress starts rebuilding a bit too much. As you see, I think it is rebuilding, this little builder here. Or maybe he was rebuilding the tower, I'm not sure. Tower expansion. But I do have a little staging post here. Where my Witch King is defending it with his life. I may need to get him out of there, though. Oh, I'm going to lose the Witch King to Gandalf. Ouch. Witch King is definitely not cheap. You have another Mumakil, it's more catapults and attack trolls coming. But I don't quite have... I need to get them all in place before I can actually assault the space, because I have to go through this first. And there's a lot of arrow fire here. I think a few Mordor shot catapults will do the job. Or even a troll if I can get it in there. Or the Mumakil, possibly. But Aragorn is here. He does have Oathbreakers. As well as Glenn has the Army of the Dead just waiting to be used. Begging to be used. And there it goes. And that will begin killing my army. The Army of the Dead being summoned taking my trolls immediately to the grave. Now I will definitely lose my moo kill here as well, which is unfortunate. So he has prevented most of the damage to his fortress, it seems. One catapult managed to survive, somehow get past. Oh, if only it had one more shot, I would have took this fortress. It's too bad. But it is only a matter of time before this fortress goes down, I feel. This is very, very wounded, and there is no rebuild in this patch for the Men of the West. So it will take a while before that actually rebuilds. And the Oathbreakers expiring before they get to my base, thankfully. Seems Earthquake has been used on my base as well. As you see, my base has been completely obliterated there. All my structures lay in ruin, so I will need to begin replenishing all those. Although I do have 2 level 3 Easterling pits and a couple troll cages still intact and a tavern, so, and a siege works obviously. So I'm in by no means in bad shape. Goblins actually pushing in on the men now. This could be bad for Glenn, as the Goblins will be able to take this fort if he gets close. And he does have a Fire Drake as well, keep that in mind. Fire Drake could use Inferno to completely decimate this army if he gets positioned correctly. And doesn't get stuck on pikemen like he is at the moment. This can be a problem with your Fire Drake if you're not careful. He will get stuck on pikemen. And there goes the Inferno. Oh, pretty destructive. You don't see any fire animation because it's being cast on water, but he is definitely doing some damage. And it seems Aragorn's Oathbreaker is being summoned down to help defend the fort now. And it looks like the Goblin attack will fail here, because of the Oathbreakers and just the power the men have. And this is why you see the late game men are hard to deal with, because the Oathbreakers are just hard to stop. You have Aragorn's Oathbreakers, and then you have the power itself. And they can take an entire army by themselves. Witch King is back though. Probably don't want to send him in there by himself. And Catapult being killed immediately. A builder. I don't know how this happens sometimes, but I accidentally send my builders into combat. Don't ask me how that happens. Possibly I have all my buildings set queued over here, as I do it all at once by holding shift and right clicking with a production unit structure. Sets the waypoint of all my buildings. And it does do the fortress as well, so if I make a builder, it will actually do that. And the catapult actually hitting the fortress there, and the Witch King flying, swooping in to finish it off. Now Glenn is definitely in some trouble here. He does have a builder here. He does have a builder here, but this builder probably won't last very long next to a worm. Although, I say that, he actually lived. Those tower guards temporarily having the Ring of Power before burning to death. He does recover the ring, but does he have enough for a fortress is the question. Not quite, he's about 2 grand off. So if I can get in there quickly, looks like I'm building a forward, I built a forward siege works to begin producing catapults or possibly battering rams. Very close to my opponent. And as you hear, my voice is going very raspy. I hate it when that happens. Just need a drink, clear my throat, and I'm good to go. And now there is no archers here. The Witch King will begin completely obliterating this army from the sky, swooping down, killing many tower guards. And now the men are pretty much dead, I think, as I am moving in to destroy his final buildings. I'm sure he has ran off to build a structure somewhere. He does have a fortress actually building up in the northern part here, northwestern part. But he will lose all these structures here. And that will actually secure me the game, because this player had to go, the Goblins here, as he did not have time to finish the game, unfortunately. I remember that quite specifically, as he did apologize for him having to go. And now it's just a matter of me hunting down the remnants of GlenQuagmi's base. And it looks like the Men of the West may make one final stand here against my base, if he manages to get enough troops. But I don't think this is going to be enough. I do have attack trolls, and the Thillians are not going to be enough to take out this Witch King, I don't think. massive amount of damage. Darkness being thrown down on top of my men here. And they will begin doing a bit more damage as darkness buffs all of my units. I think it even buffs trolls. So trolls will be a bit more tanky. You see taking very minimal damage from Gandalf actually. One attack troll can actually solo Gandalf under darkness, I feel. As long as they don't have a heal. And yeah, Boromir does have the ring. He finally has what he desired all this time, but I think he will die with it. It will be the death of him, just like in the movie. Although I don't know if the ring was the death of him, per se, actually. But actually, Lurtz. Lurtz being dead in this game, not going to happen. And it looks like Boromir will be dying here. Attack troll, knocking him flat on his ass. There's no way Boromir is getting out of here alive. But he does have a heal. He does throw it down because he does have a fort. Do I actually notice the fortress here? I do. Barrage being called down. I do have a Rain of Fire almost. As you see here, that is very close to being finished. So that will possibly be cast down on top of this fortress. I've decided to ignore all these troops. I even have a battering ram in there. Just go straight for his fortress. As I know if I can take this out, he will definitely lose the game. So it's really only a matter of time. These pikemen aren't going to be enough to do it. I mean, they probably would over time, but it'll take a while. And he destroys his structures, and he has been defeated, quitting out of the game. So, very good. That was an interesting 6-player or 5-player plus an AI free-for-all, whatever you want to call it. I felt that was a good one, and I hope you did as well. It swung in my favor quite nicely, and I always like when that happens. So, well played to everyone in that game, and I will see you in the next replay of Battle for Middle-earth 2. See you next time.